Hello. News headline. A mother speaks about the brutal murders of her daughter and 5-year-old granddaughter. She quotes, "I don't have the words. I don't have the tears anymore to share for my daughter and my granddaughter. It hurts to talk about their murders." Police say the murders were committed by her boyfriend. Another news headline. A woman was fatally stabbed during a domestic dispute in Queens. Also in Queens, a 29-year-old woman's body was stuffed under a bed with a bag over her head with multiple stab wounds. Victim's 39-year-old husband arrested and charged with the murder. The victim had filed an order of protection and reported further stated that the husband had been previously arrested for menacing his wife. Their 2 daughters are now being raised by relatives. One more. Just last week, a woman was interviewed in the hospital whose ex-husband poured hot oil on her while she was asleep. She confessed letting him back in the house because he needed a place to stay. So out of the kindness of her heart, she let him in. She further revealed the reason this heinous crime was because she refused his sexual advances. He's still on the loose, and she's disfigured for her life. And basically, I want to show a couple of pictures. This is her before, and this is her after. A year ago today, I had a young lady on my show who was a victim of domestic violence. We want to just cut through and watch this. I want to start with you telling me what happened when you were in the hospital. I want you to start there.
Okay, after the attending physician performed a CAT scan, they told me they saw a tumor that was resting on my main artery. From that moment, the first thing I could do is think about my children.
Okay.
I have 5 children. After that, I turned to my husband and asked him to take care of my children. But I thought to myself, this man was literally beating me to death. Of course, I didn't say anything to him, but that was what I thought at the moment. And the reason why I thought that is because there was one incident when we had a verbal argument, but it turned into a physical altercation. And I used to fight this man. And when you said something about not turning to the authorities,
right.
I didn't. Not on every occasion we had some type of issue. And on this moment, that particular incident, he hit me, he pushed me, whatever he did. I hit him back. That made it worse. Because when I hit him back, that one hit made me fall, but I fell on the palm of my hands. I fell, and he started pounding on the back of my head.
With his fists or his feet?
With his fists. I didn't go to work the next day because my head was swollen. On my left side, everything is on whatever's going on or was going on was on my left side, and that's where he hit me. Swollen, it was painful, everything. And that is the moment when I said, enough.
Welcome to VOW Voices of Wisdom, the show that might not be for everybody, but everybody needs to watch this show. And what you just saw, my guest is here today, a year later and stronger than ever. Right. Nichole Watkins. How are you, sweetheart?
I'm good, thank you.
Wow. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful. So I want you to tell the audience, what you've done now since the last show, all the things you've done now since the last show. You didn't just tuck your tail under and stay under covers and put your head under. What did you do?
I started raising awareness on domestic violence. I bought some comfortable sneakers.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did. I printed some flyers, and I go out and I talk to the public. I would say maybe a couple of months after the first interview, my kids and I, we established a site. My two oldest. We went on and we built the site.
And what's the name of the site?
smilesforthefuture1.com.
Now, where'd you come up with that name, Smiles for the Future? It must be something.
Yeah, because my kids were serious.
After the incident.
After they still are, but I told them life goes on and we got to keep on smiling. And we just did some brainstorming, and that's the name we came up with.
Awesome, awesome. And what other things you did? I was actually invited to a speaking engagement you did at the library as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I think that took place almost exactly a year after my surgery. Many didn't show up, but those that did, I appreciated. Those that did. Naming yourself. And you did tell me, Nichole, it doesn't matter how many people showed up today, but you did what you set out to do.
And there was a young lady that came there and sat in the back, and I'll never forget her. She had some kind of issues going on, and she needed to bring some information back. So like I said, you know what happens, like I encouraged you that day, you'd be surprised that one person, if you just get to that one person, it means so much. It means so much.
It does. And she and I, till this day, we keep in contact.
Oh, you do? So she did follow up?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. And you don't have to tell her name, but how was she connected? How did she connect to your story?
She actually saw the board, the library's board. She brought her son in or daughter in for some type of event that was also going on that same day. And she said she'll just stop in while her son was doing what he was doing.
Okay.
That's how we met.
Okay. So how are you following up? Did you have a conversation with her?
We met several times since the meeting. We always keep in contact over the phone, email. She shared her experience with me.
Oh, she did? Okay.
Yes. And it is domestic.
So it was?
Yeah. Like myself, back and forth in the courts, which is why I want to say something on her behalf also, and families of the deceased, because the courts...
Tell us just a little bit, let the people understand what you've gone through in the courts dealing with that. So people don't really understand and know, I don't think, the death. If you've never been through it, how would you know, right? Exactly. So share with us about what you've gone through going back and forth to the courts.
The courts are a joke when it comes to domestic violence. They'll have you coming back and forth.
Now, what are you coming back and forth for? Explain to us, what are you coming back and forth for?
Okay, I'm going to tell you from what
your experience.
My experience. At some point in time, we were supposed to go to trial.
Okay.
Got there.
Because you pressed charges? Yeah. Is that why you're going to trial?
It was like a combination of visitation.
Oh, okay.
It was
okay.
The order, everything was like combined.
Okay. Order protection?
Yes.
Visitation rights? Okay.
The whole bit.
Okay. Did you press charges?
I reported it.
You reported it.
It's a good thing you said that, because I reported. But the thing is, I had an order of protection from Supreme Court that was issued a year and change, whatever. It was a refrain from, Nichole, if he does anything or intimidates you in any form or fashion, you have your order. Unfortunately, I forgot. This is after the surgery. So my kid said, Mommy, you have an order. Just, let the police know. So when I went, they told me it was too late. However, it was only a week from the time that he had left the house, which was February 16th, when he said the doctors didn't dig deep enough into your head. But before that, he had hit me. I still didn't say anything. But when he said the doctors didn't dig deep enough into your head, that's when I said, you got to go, buddy, because I love myself more than I love you.
Just in case people didn't really see the whole thing, and I really encourage people to go to the YouTube and you go to VOW Voices of Wisdom. You can tag VOW Voices of Wisdom and Nichole Watkins, and please, you can watch the entire show of the clip we just showed you earlier. But for those who haven't seen, just tell us a little bit why did he say that to you? What did he say to you? To make sure everybody understands what you meant by when you said you didn't dig deep enough in your head. So you're telling us that your husband said that to you.
The person that I married. I don't use the term husband.
Okay.
Now, we were preparing to go to church.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We were preparing to go to church. Now, he had gotten up early, always did, reading the Bible or looking at the pages, whatever he did. And I said, well, I didn't hear the children walking around or in the bathroom or anything. So I said, did you wake the boys up? And he said, for what? Like what I got to wake them up for? They have an alarm clock. He just went off. And I said, well, why do you?
He was reading the Bible, though.
He had just.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
He had the Bible open.
Oh, he had it open.
He had it open.
Okay.
I don't know if he was reading it or what.
He had it open.
He had it open. And I said, well, why do you have to talk to me like that? I only asked you a simple question. If you got the boys up. And that's when he said, oh, I see the doctors didn't dig deep enough into your head. So I waited for a couple of seconds. It took time to register. So I said, what was that supposed to mean? I said, what? And he smirked and just walked away. And my daughter, my oldest child, she came, she said she heard the little whatever. And she said, oh, guess we ain't going to church today. And we didn't go to church. And this is on a Sunday. The Sunday before Valentine's Day.
Wow.
And I'll never forget it.
Such love.
Oh, he loved me to death. Almost.
But, since then, you've been doing a lot of empowering for yourself. But the thing that, you know how we flow. We just flow, Nikki. We know we just flow. But what I still understand, but I still hear from you, is an anger or something there. And, we just flow. So tell me about what you're still feeling right now.
I don't want to say anger because I know is love. Love is the answer. But what it is things that I have to get off my chest that I've never said to him. We're in courts. I don't look at him. I don't say anything to this man, this person. But it's just a lot that I want to get off my chest because since that day, I told him to get out.
So, I think this is the time where I'm going to let you, because, healing is important. And right now, I'm going to allow Nichole to read something that she needs to get off her chest to the person that did what they did to her. So let her bear with us, and we're going to let her read this, that she needs to talk to this person in the camera, like you're talking, because this is all about healing, too. This is all about the process of healing. So it might sound a little harsh to you, but this is all about Nichole's healing. Nichole, talk to this camera, and go ahead.
Should the unwanted species that I married ever see this show, I want you to know that the Lord knew how this story was going to end, but you didn't. I'm here to tell you today that my God is mightier than those wicked punches that you landed on the back of my head. Yeah, they caused some damage, but let me tell you something, Joker. I'm healed. I may have been on pause, somewhat wobbly, and couldn't see well after my surgery, and still you managed to hit me. I was helpless, you coward. Sit, stay, be quiet. My name ain't Rover, it's Nichole, and I'm living up to it. My family told me that they grew very concerned after you got upset and walked out of the ICU, all because my mother covered my feet with a blanket. Now listen up good, you mangy mutt. On these very same feet today, I stand firm. I walk in faith. You played your part well. And I know that the devil exists because I slept next to Satan for years. I got many signs earlier on in the marriage, and one of them being those consecutive number 6s that are typed on your Social Security card. You see there, it's printed in black and white with the official stamp in the background. Yeah, my hand shake a little bit, but I'm fine. You tried to shut me up many times, but I am here. And for the mere fact that I still have the capabilities to love, I'm going to be just fine. You put my kids and I through hell, and tears of pain used to flow. But from now on, our smiles are for the future. Now, everything that I just said to you, you put it in your pocket along with your platinum green card that you tried to kill for. That's what I have to say to him.
I say that I wanted you to go ahead and say that because it's a healing process, Sometimes we go through this tragedy and we keep everything in. We try to deal with stuff, and it's important to heal. And I just feel like you need to get that opportunity to say what you had to say. And, just even thinking about some of the headlines I read earlier, one of them actually had an order of protection. So let's get back to talking about the court and what happens with the order of protection. And does that really work, or how much do we have to have a person have to call? If you have this in place, what is the process you have to do? I think most people know, but I want you to talk about your process and how effective or ineffective it's been.
I would say it works to a certain extent. And that's because they did arrest him, I think because he had violated the order before. But on this particular order, like after my surgery, and I informed them that I had an order from Supreme Court, issued in Supreme Court, and it was still valid, they told me I had to go back to court, go to family court and get an order and file for an order, they told me. I said, but why? I still have one. And
so they tell you had to file for another one?
Yes.
Why?
Have no idea. But I went. They didn't go after him, and that's when they told me that I reported it too late. And I said, this happened. They said, when did it happen? I told them. They said, okay, that's a week ago. And I said, but I didn't remember that I had the order. My kids had to remind me. I said, I had brain surgery. That's why I'm here, according to you, so late. And they said, you have to go down to family court. So I went down, filed, whatever, did what I had to do, and they issued another order of protection, a stay away. So he had 2 orders against him at the time. But they could have just gone and dealt with him with that order, but they didn't. Which is why I stated on my site, statute of limitations, if you wait too long and report it, they'll just act like it doesn't exist.
And people have to understand too the time consumption of all of this too, the back and forth to the court. I mean, just off the cuff, how much time have you spent in the court?
Last year.
Yes, since last year.
The last year. Since February, it was just, January? March, I was in court. So it was a year. They gave me courts literally back to back. And the last one, it was supposed to go to trial. Now, the court-appointed lawyer said that, she doesn't have time. Meanwhile, it was indicated on the letter they mailed to me, trial date, first trial date, whatever it said. But then they came and said, she doesn't have time to do it today. She doesn't have time to hear the case. And I said, well, what happened? He said, because her day ends at 4, and it's already 2:30, almost 3 o'clock. And what I advise you to do is withdraw your case. Yeah.
Okay, hold up.
Yeah.
Hold the phone. Rewind. I got to regroup, Nichole. They advise you to do what now?
Withdraw my case and resubmit a new one. This will allow her time to evaluate the case because she was under pressure. She should have had the case resolved within a 6-month time frame.
Now, who's she?
The judge.
Let's clarify who all this she is.
The judge.
This is the judge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is what the lawyer told me.
Okay.
Meanwhile, the lawyer's telling me and the law guardian, they know that he's being manipulative, trying to be from the outside through the house and the kids. So they know that whatever's going down is wrong, and it should be dealt with. He should be dealt with, but because
You know, I was trying to say this, but I'm just having a slight flashback right now because I think I did share with you, and these tears are coming again. I did share with you in the first show that I was also dealt with domestic violence, and I remember going to the court to get an order of protection. And I was so scared. I was very young. I got married when I was 20. So I think I was like maybe 23 or 24, maybe 22, 23, something around there. And I was really nervous, didn't know what to expect. And I went to this courtroom, and it was a little room. It wasn't a big room, courtroom, but it was a small courtroom. And I sat there, and I was basically telling this judge that I was coming here for an order of protection. And literally, he looked me from my head to my feet. I was working at the county at the time, so I was, and you know, I was coming to work, so I was dressed a certain way. And he literally looked me up and down, and he looked at me and he said, "You don't look like you are a victim of domestic violence." And I said, "Sir, I'm here because I don't want to be a victim of domestic violence." He basically told me he couldn't help me. And that was, I'm going to tell you how old I am. That was quite a few years ago, over 25 years ago.
I believe it. And it's
So I'm listening, though. It sounds like nothing much has changed.
Not at all. Not at all. It's not only me that's saying this. It's other women that, like, since I go out, I've gone out and speaking to the general public regarding, women, they say, "Oh, you know, Nichole, the courts, you hear so many different stories." I had a woman, she told me that her sister is dead because of domestic violence, and her children saw her being beaten by the boyfriend. I hear a lot of stories. People die, different age, races, everything. One woman didn't even want to talk to me. When I stopped her and I told her I'm raising awareness, she said, "Oh, I don't want to hear about that." She didn't take the flash. She said, "Oh, I have." But what she did say is that she had her jaw wired. I had missing teeth, but she was like.
But see, that comes with denial and no support and just, all of that. And want to be, it's like, let's just forget this ever happened. We have like 4 minutes left, and I want you to look in that camera again and talk to the audience, talk to the world, talk to victims of domestic violence, talk to the court, and tell them what you have to say.
Just because domestic violence isn't spoken about as if it were the latest sneaker or rap album doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Many women and children worldwide have lost their lives. So to the courts, we need your empathy, support, and support more than ever, and not several dates, promises, and degrading remarks. Your laws protect the perpetrator more than the victims, and why is that? Due to embarrassment, many don't speak out, and nor do they seek the help that's needed in order to escape the situation that's weakening their minds, their bodies, their spirits, and their families. I know because I also kept my stressful and embarrassing moments to myself, but that was yesterday. There's nothing embarrassing about having life. Get help and live your life to its fullest. There are many resources out there. Swallow your pride so you won't have to choke on your own blood. The longer you stay, the more damage is being done to everyone. When your trash starts to stink, don't mask it. Dispose of it. Your home should not be a war zone, and remember, the kids get shot down every time there's a battle. So remove yourself from the struggle before the kids become orphans. The world is like one big puzzle, and everybody belongs. Don't allow someone else to force you into a position because your spot is out there. You just haven't found it yet, and when you do, you'll fit perfectly. Life is a gift. You don't have to wait until Christmas to realize that you have the most valuable gift ever. But the Almighty has roared. He has spoken. He told me to tell you that no man is mightier than he. I know this because I stand, I speak, I live. Since my ordeal, I've met many people, and a few of them I categorize as friends. My children, of course, are among those friends. When things get crazy, give it to the Lord. Because that one friend will never let you down. I know it, my friends know it, And because of his faithfulness, there ain't no stopping us now. Ain't no stopping us.
And at this point, we want to play Ain't No Stopping Us Now and do a victory dance.
That's right.
So just imagine us doing that. And if you're out there, you need to get to a point where you can do your victory dance. Because domestic violence is a serious, serious thing. And as you heard the story today, we need more support in the court system. We need more exposure and awareness about domestic violence. You heard me read at least 3 incidents about domestic violence. One just happened just last week. And right now, honestly, they're still looking for this woman's husband, and they're saying to be careful because they're saying to be careful about trying to approach him. You know, Nichole, I think about more than anything, what really I think about too is what a parent goes through, because you need to be aware, you need to be capable enough to take care of your family. And sometimes when you're at that place where you're going through what you're going through, it's hard to take care of your family, because I've been there. You know, you're just so trying to get it together. Mm-hmm. But I'm so proud of you. And the tears are coming again.
Don't cry. Can I say something else?
Mm-hmm. We got 30 seconds.
A lot of people don't want to go down to social services, but you take that trip. You got to get food stamps. You got to get heat. You do what you got to do to take care of you and your children. Take that. Swallow your pride. That's all I got to say.
Wow. But I am really, really, really proud of you. And you continue to bring that awareness out. And we're going to probably have you on again maybe next year. But meantime, I want everybody to know, go to your website, go to the phone, do whatever you have to do to get help, because there's help out there. And like Nikki said, she is a survivor, and you can be too. Thank you.